Hey everyone, welcome back to 5 Day Crypto. My name is Chase. Today is Thursday, and today we're going to talk about Ethereum. We're going to look at Ethereum on several different charts. We're going to look at the best time to buy Ethereum. We're going to look at support and resistance levels for Ethereum, levels that you want to be watching in the coming days and weeks, and what it means if we break one of those levels to one direction or the other. So if you like the content today, give us a thumbs up, follow us on Twitter, Telegram, and Patreon. Everything can be found in the description below. Let's get going. Ethereum on the weekly chart. Let's start out with support and resistance. Why? Because it's key to learn. If you're new, you got to learn support and resistance, because likely the odds in crypto are, if you're going to break one of those resistance levels, you're going to probably fall to the next one. Case in point, let's look at it. Well, let's start out with the good news, because we always like the good before the bad. The good news is, if we break 4,000, right? If we ever close, these are on a weekly chart, by the way, so each candle is 1 week. So if you ever see Ethereum against the US dollar closing above these two candles, above 4,000, it's highly likely that we're ready to blast off. Ethereum will, I think, do very well in the next leg up. When that ever starts, we don't know. We don't try to predict the future. We just look at the charts, interpret that data, relay it to you. That's what I'm here for, to help you make more money, lose less of it. So when you see Ethereum above 4,000, if you're not in, I would suggest getting in at that point. Although not financial advice. Nothing I say is financial advice in any of my videos. Do what you want. All right. So what is our cautionary level? Well, this right here, right? 2,700-ish right in here. Why? Well, look at the candles. This is our bounce back up, and we kind of closed off right around that $2,700 level. So right now we're kind of flirting with that. We've tested it so far. We're holding above it, closing above it so far. If we somehow, wick below it, doesn't matter. If we close below it, that does matter. And if we close below this $2,700 line, it's highly probable we're falling down to this orange box area. Why is it a box instead of a line? Well, there's a couple different reasons. Well, first of all, you could technically draw a line right here because that's our lowest closing candle around 1888, but there's a couple of levels that are kind of a little bit higher, lower than that. What levels? Well, you got this area here. Look at all these wicks, right? The wicks areas going down towards the bottom of this box. Then you also have your higher candle, your previous local high right here, around 1950, right before our big drop. And you can see what this next level is. If we drop outside of this orange box, which the low, around 1700. If we're closing under this box, then it's highly probable we're coming to this line. And why is this one red? Because this is your failsafe. This is highly probable this will be the turnaround back to the upside if we come back down here. I'm not saying that any of these lines are going to be hit. I'm saying these are the lines you want to be watching. If we continue the downtrend, if we go to the uptrend, these are the lines that you want to be watching for. Then this is big picture time frames. These lines aren't going to change in the next 2 or 3 days, or 2 or 3 weeks, or 2 or 3 months. These lines will be a reference for the next year or longer, right? You can use these for a long time. Why? Well, look at this line. Look how we reacted with this. After our previous local high, we came back down to test this area again. What is this area? 1400. I'm glad you asked. Let's zoom out. What does this mean for Ethereum? That was our previous all-time high in the 2017 bear market. Started right here. Bull market, bear market. You got what I'm saying. So we zoom back in, and it came back and cleared our voice. We tested that line again. Years later, right? After 2017 peak, we tested again in February 2021. This will be, in my opinion, and based on the charts, this is the level that you will have a turnaround if we are ever to go back down around this area again. Not saying that we're going to, not saying that's likely, just case in point, chart specific. This is the level, the end all be all. Okay, let's skip ahead. What do we got now? Ethereum on the 5-day Gaussian channel. We try to cover as many coins as possible on the 5-day Gaussian channel because it's very important. Look at this. Look at the bounce. You think this line doesn't mean anything? These lines, these 3 lines, will act as support and resistance depending on which way you're approaching it from. So right now, why are we showing? Because we bounced on it before. Let's hope for a bounce again. Where could that be? I'm glad you asked. It's right now. If it were to say go down to it in the next two and a half days, because we have 2.5 days till this candle closes, Well, that level is 25, just above 2,500, okay? But if we take another 5 days, here's the next candle. You can see the trajectory of this, right? It's increasing every candle. So next week, it could be 2,600, 2,650. If it takes another 10 days, right, it could be 26, 2,700. You can see how this is increasing, right? So depending on when we do it, depending on if it's just a wick, if it's a candle, what the point is, and the valuable information here is, you can have a wick as we did back in here. You don't want to close a candle in here, because historically speaking, that's not a good sign, right? Let's zoom back in. Anytime Ethereum has gone into the Gaussian channel, it's spent a good amount of time in here, right? Look at even back in 2015, 2016 here. Look at the next time we entered, right? We tried to get out of it, came back in, and not so great. But this was the bear market. A lot of coins were, not looking so great during the bear market. But you could see that we want to avoid this like the plague. All right, next chart. We have the RSI on a weekly scale for Ethereum. Look at this. Going back to 2018, since kind of the wrap-up period of the bear market, the RSI has historically been increasing ever since. So look where we are now. And I drew a box because if you draw a line, you only have a couple touch points. So anywhere in here is okay, in my opinion. If we drop outside of this, that would signal bigger problems on the horizon. And I think Ethereum, as well as the rest of the market, it's not like Ethereum is going to do bad and the rest of the market's going to do great. No, if Ethereum's doing poorly, it's highly probable Bitcoin, all of crypto, is doing poorly. But look how close we are to this, right? We've come down into it in July, and now we're flirting with it again. Can we get a spin back? Let's hope so. I would say if we close much, depending on when we enter it, right? If we, kind of have one final wick, it'd probably look pretty severe downtrend. If we kind of slow bleed the rest of, the next 4 weeks, then maybe it turns around the 52, 50 level. But this is the level we want to be watching, around that 50-ish, right? Give or take 1 or 2. All right, so let's watch for that. A bounce there would signify a pretty bullish reversal back to the upside, and hopefully we get another one of these spikes. Because if we can get a spike back up here, look at this nice little W pattern, and I think Ethereum would be well on its way to 10K plus, which I think will happen during this next move up. 10K plus for Ethereum. All right, let's look at Fibonacci tools. Are these important? Yes, they work. on a bigger time frame. This is I'm showing you this we could probably save this for a ways down the road, but for our next peak, right? Say we peak in 2022, 2023, and Ethereum's at, say this peak is at 15K, right? $15,000. Ethereum goes to 15,000. We'll be able to draw this again on this is a monthly scale now. So each of these candles is a month, right? Look at our swing low. You could have bought in March of 2020, you could have bought Ethereum for 80 bucks. And so that we draw it from there, we go to our high, which on our monthly happened in May. We know that, right? For just over $4,000. And look at where we fell to 3 times in a row, 3 months in a row, to the golden ratio, 0.618, right to it for 3 months straight. So when we peak again and you see prices start dropping like crazy, which it'll seem like another May is happening. Hopefully you got out back in this area. Would you hate it if you sold your Ethereum at 2,500? Yeah, it sucks because it went to 4K, right? But I think you would have been happy if Ethereum went to 1,600 and you sold at 2,500. You'd be quite happy, okay? So say you sell your Ethereum at 12,000 and it goes to 15,000. Are you upset? Well, maybe a little bit, but you're going to be happy in the not so distant future if you see Ethereum drop from 12K back to 3K or 5K or something like that, right? So the point of this is we're going to draw this again when we get to that point, and we'll see where our little golden ratio is. And if we sell up in these areas, it might be wise to have your little buy orders in when this happens again. All right, we'll cover this again, and we'll cover the next chart again. Next chart, when to buy Ethereum. If you had to pick 1 month out of the whole year, there's 12 months in a calendar if you're in elementary school. So we're looking at one particular month to buy Ethereum. When is that month? I'm glad you asked. Let's go look. if you haven't got the pattern here, you can look at the bottom and it's a dead giveaway. Dead giveaway. December is the answer if you haven't pieced it together by now. December. I've even circled the months in yellow crayon. If you can piece that together. Now look at this. If you had to pick one month, December historically has been pretty good. Why? It's the end of Q4, and what comes after Q4? Q1. Q1 tends to be pretty good for Ethereum. Case in point, if you would have bought Ethereum in last year, December, look at Q1. Pretty good return. If you would have bought December of 2019, Q4, right? You could have potentially bought this at a low of 116, and look at Q1. Went up to over $300. Pandemic drop, yeah, that sucks, but still, you can see the point, right? Look at the previous year, December 2018. You could have bought at a potential low of $80. Look at the Q1. Pretty nice. Even Q2 this time. Historically, pretty good to buy. Q4, December, namely. Look at this one. You might say, well, look at it. It went up after that, right? And we're already really high. But still, even if you were at the top of this candle at the end of the bull cycle, December, you still would have 2x'd your money. You potentially 2x. We went to over 1,400 on Ethereum after making these insane moves. Let's get to the best December of all for Ethereum so far. December of 2016, you could have bought Ethereum in the single digits. Would you like to have done that? Yes. Look at Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So pretty good. But historically, December is the month to be buying Ethereum. Doesn't do quite well for Ethereum, as far as ROI in December, right? You don't buy in December Ethereum and be like, okay, well, in the next 5 days, I'm going to 2x my money. No, in the next 25, 35, 45 days, you could potentially do very well. So why do I say that? Well, we're approaching Q4, aren't we? Like tomorrow. Q4 starts tomorrow. That doesn't mean you buy tomorrow Ethereum. December. Remember the whole concept? December. December, folks, tends to be work out very well for Ethereum, doesn't it? Case in point. Proof. Not my words. Not my opinion. Facts in the charts, folks. December works well for Ethereum historically the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You would have pretty much never lost money if you just been a little bit smart about it. As soon as you're in profit, set some stop losses. So in case something corrections, right? Or Black Swan event, we go to World War 17 with the Black Swan China. I don't know. Just protect yourself at all times. All right. We'll get to this. We'll mention this again in December because you'll all forget by then. Just kidding. Not really. Fear and Greed Index. We're at 20. Is that good? No, we're still in extreme fear. Let's look at the chart. Look at this. Slow bleed, slow bleed, slow bleed. Final stab. Hopefully we have a little bit of a rally. As you see today, we're up 3, 4, 5% across the board. Pretty much for all coins are doing okay today, right? We're back in this kind of zone, this kind of a bottomless pit of hell and extreme fear. 20 tend to be around that floor. You know, you can have final stab wounds, devil whips, I don't know, down at these levels. 10, that tends to be pretty much a hard floor there. So we're at 20 now, right? So we can go a little bit lower, but any kind of catastrophic drops are pretty much unlikely at this point. Slow bleeds, yes, but you get your catastrophic drops when you least expect it. When everyone's, you know, floating butterflies, stinging like bees. I don't know. Muhammad Ali reference in there somewhere. Let's get to the quote of the day. A champion is someone who gets up when he can't. Heartstrings. I feel like this is definitely plastered in many high school football locker rooms. Good quote, but a little sappy. All right, what do we got? Car of the day. Anybody got it? Cadillac? What's the name? Anybody? Nobody? Bueller? The CN. C-I-E-N. Concept car from Cadillac. One of the coolest cars they've ever designed, in my opinion. I wish they would have came out with it. It probably would have been, you know, several $100,000, if not more, but it would have sold. They never brought it to fruition. It had vertical doors. Look here. This still looks good. This was in 2002. This was a concept car. Pretty impressive to stand the test of time of 20 years and still have your car look pretty immaculate, in my opinion. I think it still looks quite awesome. V12. This had a V12 in it. This is probably, you know, compete with the supercars. Lambo, Ferrari, McLaren, all those guys. Nice doors to go along with it. Too bad. They should have made it. All right, to play us out. Crypto meme of the day. The truly important things in life are growing your Bitcoin trees. We all know that. All right, I'll end it for there. Happy Ethereum video day, if that's a thing. A little bit of a shorter one, 15 minutes. Still 15 minutes you're never getting back of your life. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you learned something. Give us a thumbs up if you haven't already. Appreciate each and every one of you. I'll see you on the next video. Have a great Thursday. Red shirt out.